Tales from the Crypt is an American horror anthology television series that ran from June 10th, 1989 to July 19th, 1996 on HBO. 7 seasons with a total of 93 episodes. The title is the same as the 1950s EC comic series it is based upon, and most of the content originated in that comic or the other EC comics of the time. The Haunt of Fear, The Vault of Horror, Crime Suspense Stories, Shock Suspense Stories, and Two-Fisted Tales. Because it aired on HBO, a premium cable channel, it was one of the few anthology series to be allowed to have full freedom from censorship by network standards and practices. As a result, HBO allowed the series to include content that had not appeared in most television series up to that time, such as graphic violence, profanity, sexual activity, and nudity. The series is subsequently edited for such content when broadcast in syndication or on basic cable. Okay, so we get it. It's not made for kids. I mean, I watched it in high school. I graduated in '96 when it went off the air, and I watched it all throughout my late middle school and high school years. I loved it. But again, I'm an exception to the rule. It's obviously not made for kids. I mean, come on. It's a horror show. It can't be made for kids. There's boobs. It's not made for kids. There were many spin-offs, including a Saturday morning kids cartoon? Really? Okay. Tales from the Crypt Keeper was a Saturday morning kids cartoon that ran for a whole year. Impressive. In fact, it even got renewed into another year for 13 episodes on a different network. Wacky. Okay. That's probably the only thing they did with kids, right? Oh, nope. There's also a kids game show. Okay, what the fuck?
And now, it's showtime! Greetings from Universal Studios Florida, kiddies! It's Secrets of the Crypt Keeper's Haunted House!
The series I remember from my childhood, adolescence, teenage years was a horror show, and while generally geared to an adult crowd, was really basically PG-13. But come on, the Crypt Keeper as a kids cartoon and a game show host for kids? Who the fuck greenlit this bonkers nonsense? There was also a radio series and more TV spin-offs, a pilot on Fox for a show called Two-Fisted Tales, and a short-lived sci-fi version called Perversions of Science on HBO that ran for about a month. Unbelievable. Anyway, we're here to talk about pinball. Released in November 1993 and designed by John Borg, Tales from the Crypt, the Pinball Machine is one of the prettiest games you'll ever come across. The artwork is incredible. It is based on the EC Comics style of art, but all the artwork is themed after scenes from the television show. An incredible cast of characters in the background all over the thing, different little in-jokes from the show, with a lot of area to cover with artwork, and they did a fantastic job. The back glass is very intricate, some of the best dot matrix artwork in the game. Every shot in the game is very long. Most of the stuff happens at the top half of the playfield, and there's quite a bit to keep your attention, with 3 flippers, 3 pop bumpers, 2 spinning targets, 2 ramps, 2 scoops, 3 bank drop targets, 6 eyeball targets, a captive ball, 3 and 6 ball multi-ball modes, an auto plunger shaped like a door handle with the head of the Crypt Keeper, and a shaker motor coming from the factory. This game is no joke. It should be much higher ranked than in the 70s on Pinside. I'd put it in the top 25. Pinsider by the name Sesh Pilot wrote a review a couple years ago that I thoroughly agree with. The good, horror and pinball just go together. Great theme integration. The dots, maybe the best dots in all of pinball pre-LCD. Great shots and tight. Wow, sniping skills are absolutely mandatory on this one. Such fun modes if you like horror, and plenty of them. The code on this game is incredible, possibly Data East's best. The neon green on this game looks so good under a black light. Do a search on this game and ways to trick it out with a black light. Incredible. Great artwork and sounds. Love it. The bad. Too much Crypt Keeper laughing. I tend to agree with that. He does giggle at you a good bit. And the theme is definitely not everyone's cup of tea, definitely an adult themed pin, and while I love it, I understand why this won't work in everyone's collection. Great review. I believe he gave it an 8 something. I would give it an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. It's one of my favorite games. I owned it for a little while. and I played it a good bit, and I sold it off, traded it off for a couple other machines because I am a catch and release gamer. As we all know, I like to buy them, fix them, flip them, and play them as much as I can until someone else gets to love them in their home. If you could find this game in the wild, I thoroughly suggest throwing a couple quarters down the hole. You will love the journey. Thanks for checking out number 6 on Kevin's top 7 horror-themed pinballs of all time. Come on back next week to see what number 5 is. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? If you haven't hit the thumbs up like button yet, you know what? What are you doing? I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends!
On the swamp bridge,
Come on, hurry up!
this partner David hangs out above the lava swamp.
Down here!